was on the treadmill and this little bit of wisdom came to me, and I just had to quickly record a video because sometimes when I get these bouts of inspiration, I can forget about them. So here's the whole, I guess, synopsis of it. Anytime that we get offended in life, it's not the energetic vibration of unconditional love. So anytime your ego is offended by anything, it is truly a trigger, and it's something that you have to look at. So it doesn't matter. Well, usually, it's going to be a person that offends you. And if something about their behavior is really getting under your skin or making you feel like you would act differently to them or change your behavior towards that particular person in a way that you would not normally act to somebody that really didn't matter to you, then right there, that is a really good indicator that somebody has offended you, or that they kind of have an energetic hold on you. Not that this is bad. There's nothing wrong with an individual having some sort of energetic hold on you. Sometimes it's actually a really good thing, and it's actually a very divinely orchestrated energetic connection. It is meant to illuminate something within your soul's matrix that may still be distorted and not in line with that energy of unconditional love. So let me utilize a few examples to any of you guys out there that, in terms of how this may be affecting your behavior, your mood, your actions, your vibration throughout the day. Okay, so let's say, for example, that a family member is really getting under your skin and triggering you. Maybe they are, that person that is, kind of sadistically funny. They're throwing out those low blows, whatever it may be. They may be in your energetic realm to highlight to you or your ego some of these lingering energies that may make you feel insecure or unworthy or not good enough. Because if you truly have this really high vibrational sense of self, it doesn't matter what anybody is going to say to you, you will not be offended by it. You might kind of look at them and be like, whoa, that person's really out of line and I can't believe they said that, but you actually won't trigger this offended lower vibrational energy. And I call these things these lower vibrational vortices. So people have that ability to kind of poke at you, especially if they are residing in kind of a miserable energy, or they're not really in that energy of self-love. They can kind of jab at you, and they do this almost subconsciously or without knowing it. And some people do it completely intentionally as well. But what they're doing is trying to trigger you to drop down or debase yourself and kind of join them in this misery. Remember, misery loves company. And if they can get you in that same vibe, then they feel a little bit better about themselves. So you have to be a little bit wiser in terms of your illuminated energy and this path of ascension. You've got to look at it for what it is. Come at it with love and compassion. You can either verbally be very loving and compassionate, or you can just be internally loving and compassionate and just be like, okay, this person over here is doing their thing. Maybe they're in this little vibration of nastiness. They have their little negativity vortex going over there, but I'm just going to move away, send them light and love, and let that be. Now, in terms of, friendship dynamics, again, a lot of times friends can project or try to trigger you. If they're in a low space, they can send that guilt energy over to you. You're not doing enough, you're not being a good friend, on and on and on. Again, this is that lower energy vortex that is trying to suck you in. If they see you really rising up, really in your element and shining, even your bestest friends, even those people that you love so very much, can still try to pull you down if they are not in their own sort of high vibrational energy. Don't be frustrated with them. Don't get mad at them, because again, anytime you go into that energy, you're kind of following them down that path of descending energy. And what I love saying like a really deep prayer for them, putting them in your prayer energy, sending them amazing, hope for them to feel a little bit better, whether it's friends or family or whoever it is, just really giving them that illuminated energy, okay? And honestly, as well, in those prayers, asking the divine to really bless them and send that positive, loving energy to their hearts. Now, here's the other thing. If they are, totally acting crazy, you do have to move away from them. Friends or family, if they're just in this chaotic energy, the best thing is for you not to, again, gravitate to that chaotic energy. You don't have to save anyone. And I know even for myself, I have definitely had lots of times where I'm in chaotic energy myself. I don't want to say lots of times, but I have been there. And I've noticed when I was in those very kind of low points in my life that a lot of people kind of moved away from me. And at that particular time, I was like, what the heck? I mean, they're not being supportive. But now I understand that solitude and that isolation was actually the divine giving me my own space to work through my own shit, okay? And it was a good thing. It was actually such a blessing for me. So don't feel bad that if you have to pull away from somebody that is, again, in their own stuff, working through their own traumas and triggers and all of these different things, sometimes the best thing you can do is give them space so they can heal on their own. Because again, this is a personal journey, this thing called life. Okay, now, in terms of those romantic relationships or relationships that are in that, that whole genre. If somebody that you know of, somebody you like, somebody that you are potentially seeing, or even, your spouse, whatever it is, your wife, your husband, if you are treating them extremely differently, or if you're finding that your consciousness is really getting wrapped up in that individual in a way that you would never get wrapped up in somebody else or somebody else's behavior, say for example, they don't message you back right away, or maybe they are not, being attentive enough to you, or they're not paying attention to you, those kind of things. That is the ego kind of being a brat, wanting to, again, take energy from another person in this romantic way. Now, of course, there are agreements that we make in these relationships and these boundaries that everybody has to kind of, exist within. But those are the agreements that you set out, especially in these romantic relationships, should be set out in the beginning in terms of what your expectations are with each other and what works for you. And if you're not setting these expectations, you're kind of setting yourself up for some type of failure, because you can have one person on this side that expects a whole lot of attention and another person on this side that really is a lone wolf and doesn't like a lot of attention. And if you don't have this kind of dialogue before you get into the whole situation, again, it's just you need to talk it out and make sure that, again, you are in alignment, because everything is alignment, everything is balance, and communication is key. But if you're in kind of a stressed energy, because again, somebody is triggering you, it is not them that's triggering you, it is you that is triggering you. And it is, again, this offended energy. If you're getting offended or you're getting your feelings hurt, again, that's the ego whose feeling is hurt or whose feelings are hurt. Okay, at a higher soul level, you don't have, feelings that get hurt. It's just all love, and it's just all, divine communication, and it's a very joyful, blissful, peaceful experience. So that is like the hallmark calling card of the ego is its, ability to get offended. Somebody says something, it's offended. Somebody doesn't, looks at you wrong, it's offended. Somebody's, acting a certain way and you're offended. So just really start to pay attention every time you get a little bit offended. Circle it back. Don't look at the projection on the external world. Don't look outside of yourself. Take that example, bring it back in, reel it back in, and start to really dissect what about it you were offended about. And then, as a comparative analysis, look at somebody that you don't, maybe, you're not trying to get something with. You're not trying to lock them down. So another way to look at this is in this fashion. Okay, so I like Sally a lot. I really think Sally's wonderful. I want to have a relationship with Sally. Okay, and you know, Betty over here, she's fine. She's my friend. No attraction whatsoever. Betty's a nice chick. I like her when she chats with me, whatever. But Sally, you know, I'm really digging Sally. So anytime Sally is going to interact with you, you're going to get really triggered because, of course, you want something from Sally. You have a desire for Sally. But anytime Betty interacts with you, it doesn't matter what she does. Betty is just whatever. She's chill. You have no energetic tethers to Miss Betty over here. So when you're trying to calm yourself down about Sally and what's going on with Sally, think about Betty. Bring it back to Betty. Okay, how do I react when Betty contacts me? So that will help you equalize your behavior and also calm anything that is bubbling up from the ego in terms of how you deal with individuals. It should always be this kind of calm, peaceful energy, and it shouldn't have these crazy energetic tethers because remember, the energy of unconditional love is unconditional. And the energy of love is patient, it's kind, it doesn't get angered easily. It's not a frustrated energy. It's just a beautiful, calm, gentle, compassionate, merciful, graceful energy. And that's the whole purpose, the whole idea of why we came to Earth is to learn to make this unconditional loving energy our dominant vibration. And that's how we utilize or how we kind of step our way up on that path of ascension. So I don't have to go over this again and again, guys. I think I gave you a pretty good example. I think that is enough of a lesson to be able to get over whatever's triggering you in terms of any type of relationship. Again, utilizing our example of Miss Sally and Miss Betty, just try to think of them on the same playing field. And again, it works for the guys too, but if again, you're having a little bit of a hard time with this, then focus back on the self. Focus on the things that you can do to improve yourself. Anytime you are working on self-improvement, you're in a really good energy. Anytime you're learning something, anytime you are communing with friends, family, sharing your gifts, sharing your soul, all of these things put you in a really high vibration. And it is this flow state where we stop the process of analysis and we get out of the logical mind and we just start doing because of the joy of doing and the joy of living, that we hit that sweet spot. So practice makes perfect. I'm sure you guys are practicing all these things. And again, the whole purpose is that you acclimate yourself to the highest level of joy in this lifetime. All right, I am gonna go hit the shower, but again, have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I'll see you in the next video.